Hey guys,
Morning.
good morning. I
Good to
promise
see
not to
you again.
dominate the conversation. Promise not
Good
to.
morning. If everyone can just kindly put themselves back on mute, that would be wonderful, please.
So yes,
Right. Well, welcome everyone to the month of August and our Ask the Expert and open hours, and our where we begin with a story from the front lines of caregiving. And we have a very, very interesting story that, and because agency owners call us, and our own experience just proves to us that we are in the people business, everyone. And we're working with people, things happen. And this is a very unique story. Hmm.
Right. Story is a client has been on service for 2 months. The plan of care includes routine shower assistance. The caregiver brings the client into the glass door shower, safely guiding him to sit on a shower bench. The caregiver puts on the water, and the bulb from the shower faucet projects away from the shower piping and slams into the glass door, immediately causing a storm of very small pieces of glass to go everywhere. The client has cuts, is bleeding. The caregiver has cuts and is bleeding. Luckily, an occupational therapist just arrived for the client's therapy session and is called out immediately to dial 911. The client was taken to the hospital for overnight observation. The caregiver was sent to the local clinic to get assessed for her cuts. So the interesting thing is the backstory of this. The shower was renovated about 6 months previously. The client began services 2 months earlier after the renovation. When the agency owner did her initial home safety assessment, she did mention the safety hazard of glass doors in the shower, but the family said it was too much of a bother to switch it out. So, how do you respond? The agency did a great job. They conducted a home safety assessment prior to the start of care. They provided caution and observations of safety concerns. And the caregiver obviously was well trained. They knew to call out to 911, say, hey, call 911, and to call the office immediately after it happened to report that incident. Now, the agency, they're responsible for filing an incident report in their own agency, following their own policies and procedures. And that report needs to include chronological facts, the outcome, any changes of procedures, if applicable. So it wasn't a case of abuse or neglect. So an abuse report was not required to be filed. But what are your thoughts around this kind of a incident?
it's very scary. I would certainly
Yes.
alert my insurance company to bring them into the conversation. Yeah, I don't know. So, so just a quick notion. Myra and I are together. We're in the same room together. That's why you heard the echo
Why
before.
the
So
Yeah.
background noise was
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So, yeah, immediately, would a thought would be, okay, oh my gosh, they're going to sue me because we're in the shower and we're conducting a bathing assistance, and the shattered glass is happening during a bathing activity. But because it was documented with a home assessment conversation, we knew about the renovation. That would be pretty hard pressed to put that upon on the agency because of the good documentation. Because I've had experiences where a daughter-in-law or an out-of-state family member will be quick to blame the care provider, not knowing the situation. But being calm, well documented is your leader. Too many agencies rush through that initial assessment. That's the main lesson here. Too many agencies are quick to come in, do a meet a home for a prospect, try to win them over and like me, and let's sign the agreement. And yes, we'll get everything started. We promise we'll have the best caregivers here, and not conducting a good, proper assessment.
I just think of during our 5-day boot camp
Yeah.
when we show the in-home safety assessment to the attendees of that boot camp, and they see it's 3.5 pages long. They're like, "Oh my word, how long does this take?" Well, prevention takes as long as it takes. So I know working in home health, our physical therapists and our nurses would do in-home safety assessments, and it was part of a little page, and they would check off a few things. In home care, because of your liability, it's important to do a very thorough in-home safety assessment and make sure that your caregivers are paying attention to safety in everything that they're doing. This was probably unavoidable, except that, um, you know, setting somebody in a shower and then turning the water in on may not be the best practice. You may want to prep the shower, warm it up a bit, and then put the person in, so that it's not cold, especially if they have dementia. You want to get that shower ready and prepped and comfortable environment for the person to go into. But what a situation when this agency owner called and said, "Did we do the right thing?" It's like, yeah.
I also want to say that there's other areas here that gives us an opportunity to do a compliance check on our policies and procedures and our training practices. So this is a great reminder that part of the entry level training that's required by the state is how to handle emergencies in the home and basic safety in the home, right? This is, a perfect storm per se of that. So let's make sure that we're taking a look at our onboarding training for all of our caregivers. We have those two things, and those are mandated by the state, as well as what is our policy and procedure when it comes to conducting a home assessment for a client. Do we have it in our care service section of our policies and procedures? We conduct a home safety inspection. When you sent in your initial application, the state only asked for your personnel policies, and that was largely due to the requirements around TB, background clearance, training, and abuse reporting. But client safety and client onboarding, there are no really true guidance in that. But that is a whole section of policies and procedures you want to ensure that you have in place. So, so good job on this agency. So, any other comments about that? If not, we are open for the question that we always like to ask is what is keeping you up at night?
I do have one comment about that too, though. Is there a
Yeah,
risk that the caregiver sues the homeowner?
good question.
That is always a possibility.
Yes.
Yeah, because
And they could also sue the agency for an unsafe work environment. However, the documentation that they made the recommendation to the family would help the agency be covered with that. But oh yeah, this is always
yeah.
a risk management issue, which is when people start and open a business of any kind, and certainly in home care, your main motivation shifts from, making money and providing care out of the goodwill of your heart to risk management.
Risk management, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. One thing that I wanted to make an appointment with you guys for the consultation.
Perfect.
Because we've just got our license at the end of June, and we're feeling we have one client that's 4 hours a week right now on Fridays. And we're feeling pretty underprepared for this. And we don't have any employees, and we're looking at onboarding, and we're looking at hiring practices, and we're looking at all of our brand stuff to because we've noticed an incredible number of agencies in Santa Cruz where we are. And we met Lauren last time, who's just 20
Nice.
minutes up the road. And so she's a brand new agency. So we felt we're feeling pretty overwhelmed, but also nervous about all of the competition. And we are looking to get some training. We're, of course, cash poor right now because we're not having any income, and I'm not taking a salary, but we're paying Myra because she has a family. I have fewer costs to have to cover, but yeah, we need some training, and we're wondering what's the best way to go about training. We can't afford boot camp right now, and we can't afford the time to go to San Diego to do the boot camp. But we wanted to find out from you what would be your recommendation to get us up and running with I know we need to hire before we start marketing for clients.
You do them both at the same time.
Well, if we get a client, then we don't have anybody to send out really. So
That really then pushes and motivates your recruiting.
yeah. So recruiting, because there's so much competition in the area, we're trying to figure out what would differentiate us from the other places that are popping up everywhere. Right?
That's
Seems like
truly the
every
first
day.
question.
Yeah,
Truly the first question.
it seems like we see a new one online every other day. We see a new website that's popped up. So we're looking at how to differentiate ourselves by our service offerings. And we're worried about that 80/20, how we can come in under our license by offering other things that I can provide. My background is project program management. Right now, I'm dealing with a huge construction project for our care facility. So one of the services that I might be able to provide our clients is not ADL care. It's help with managing contracts and looking at contractors and trying to protect seniors from getting taken when they have to have work done on their homes, helping with vetting, helping with some of that. So we're looking at other value adds that we can offer to our as a marketing tactic, but still stay under the 80/20 rule. So since it's just us, maybe we can do the 30-minute consultation now, unless somebody else joins, to see what you guys would recommend us to get us starting with training wise. We know we need training. What do you recommend to jumpstart us?
Well, so these are the offerings. One is we do have 2-day live courses that are in San Diego. So that would be 2 days coming down here. That is truly the lesser expensive when it comes to budget because we anticipate so many people, so we reduce our rates for that.
Mhm.
The more flexible would be to schedule blocks of Zoom time for one-on-one. And we're happy to also record those for you so you have them to replay at a later time. But that's an hourly rate
Mhm.
or project rate. So, and our hourly rate is $3.50 an hour. that's why our classes for 2 days, it's $9.99 for 2 days. So, and if you register early, you save a couple $100 as well.
Mhm.
Um, so those are our offerings, and it's just a matter of one's budget and time constraints or time flexibility and
Mhm.
need. And then the the good thing about the flexibility of the one-on-one and the Zoom recording is we're going to first really hear exactly what you want, and we will focus first on that, but also know, just based on our experience, that there are going to be some ancillary things that we will outside layers because everything is weaved together in home care.
Mhm.
But we'll focus on the main, but then we'll weave in some other things that will contribute to whatever that main point is.
Mhm. So,
So, so like with your 80/20 rule, so service offering, I love this idea of offering some sort of like um, scamming protection service for older adults that are looking to do a home improvement. That would be some sort of service offering that not a caregiver would provide, but somebody like yourself who can charge a much higher rate
mhm.
that you can start generating some income for the business in that regards. But 80/20, that and all things around labor law. So that would be labor compliance, and that's what we're talking in our August course, I think next week.
We're in August already.
Yeah, I know. I already realized, like, oh my gosh, we're that much closer to Halloween because Costco has Halloween decorations.
Oh no, I'm surprised they don't have Christmas up yet.
Oh, it's so funny. We've had many clients where they say the moment there's a burr in the month, they put their Christmas tree up, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
And then the service offering, that's more of a sales and marketing, so that's a whole thing too. But as Edwin said earlier, you're getting recruiting caregivers and you're marketing at the same time. And what caregivers want is feeling secure and safe with your agency and hours. So that's
Mhm.
why you need at least 5 to 10 caregivers on your roster because no one's going to say, "Oh, great, I'm now working for this agency. I'm going to wait for my hours." They're going to go to the first agency that starts filling up that 40-hour minimum quota that they're looking for.
Mhm.
And that's the reason they have to come at this. The clients and the caregivers have to come at the same time. Like you're always recruiting and you're always marketing with that. So let's go back to your program differentiators to differentiate yourself. Ideally, you want to come up with 3 unique branded programs. One will be your general home care, which is what you do, but it needs to be branded with a very unique, specific name that speaks to a level of service or a type of service, even though it's general home care, that attracts people.
Mhm. We have
Ties into the experience. Yeah.
we've started using the name Solutions for Independent Living for
Ah, I like that.
general home care. Um, and lumped in with that, it could be some of the, maintenance stuff, the landscaping, the other ancillary services that could go under that, to
So
keep people in their
caution,
home.
caution flag there.
Oh yeah, because the 80/20.
No, it's outside your scope of practice.
Yeah.
It
Well,
what you're talking about, it's kind of like agencies that also do care management. Care management is not part of your license, but it is a service line that can be done very well. We don't want to discourage you on the project management for seniors. That is a brilliant idea. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of seniors. I'm one of the younger seniors that lives in the neighborhood. Um, they always need protection. They need access to resources for handyman services, for home repairs, for yard care, transportation. That's a great idea. That's a great attractor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those people also come to need home care. So on top of that, you need your general solutions for independent living at home, and then you need another specialty line care that is unique to you, but is also something that um, is a high demand in the marketplace. We know that the two areas that are most commonly served in home care are dementia
Mm-hmm.
and incontinence. Nobody specializes in incontinence care because they're afraid to talk about it. And yet it's something people deal with after the age of 50.
Mm-hmm.
And as they get older, it becomes a bigger issue. So it could be males with incontinence, older adults, people living with dementia and incontinence. It could be combining those two as a specialty niche area.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do coaching with people and consulting, these are some of the areas that we help them figure out. How do we create it? How do we brand it? How do we launch it? How do we sell it? How do we recruit for it? How do we train caregivers to meet that specific need that we're promising to the clients? This is the experience you're going to have, and our caregivers will deliver this because they are certified to deliver this level and this kind of care.
How do you provide that training? Is that in the 2-day, or is that in the boot camp, or
Well, that's
all of that
that's
which you just mentioned?
that's when people work with us on just private
One-on-one.
business development. In the boot camp, we can help you identify those and come up with the topics and the ideas, the framework, the foundation. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's through our one-on-one coaching where we develop it because it's unique. You don't want everybody in the room knowing exactly what you're doing for your
Right.
uniqueness, especially if they're from the same area.
Yeah.
Um, but over the years, we've helped people customize some very unique service offerings, all within the scope of practice of their agency license.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all the modules that go with it, whether it's a training, how to recruit caregivers, um, to attract them to this business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are just putting ads out there, hiring caregivers. We're a great place to work. General ad. We target ads with with the idea of attractiveness, attracting them to a culture, to an idea, to a dream, to a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that is built into the brand. And that's part of the individual one-on-one consulting that we do with people who either don't have the time or the creativity to pull this off themselves in a speedy fashion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've just signed up with Score Mentor. We got a Score Mentor that
Oh,
we're going to
good.
be working with. Um, and I think,
Well,
yeah.
So the benefit of a score mentor, um, and it's going to depend on where they're coming from, because you want to also understand their industry, where they're coming from, how can cross over. It's more on how to run the general business, the back office things, so that
Right.
you're aware of those
That,
things. So that's a good thing.
and compliance and all of that stuff there.
Yes, correct, correct. They may not necessarily know the industry, but at least they're going to show you, based on my experience of risk management, we're located in Watsonville, California, where we have Spanish speakers. Can we address, advertise as? Yes. So that's a good question. We'll get to that, Maya. So that's good. So that's what you want to glean as much as possible from that score person.
Mhm.
And from us, you'll get your home care industry
Specific, yeah,
knowledge. Yeah.
yes. Um,
and
Understood.
it, and then there's some other areas to look at, and that is who has the money to pay for home care.
Mm,
And by knowing who that is, what do they need service wise, and how do we target them and market to them? And So part of it is looking at who's paying the bill. Do they have financial planners, fiduciaries, wealth managers, other um, legal professionals that are helping manage their monies?
Yeah.
Because that knowing where the money is and what they need tells you who you need to market to, so that you're not out there doing general marketing where everybody else is going. All the other 300 agencies in the county are all going to skilled nursing facilities, home health, hospice, hospitals, some to doctor's offices. And there's 30 to 40 people a day going to those places looking
Yeah.
for the same business you're looking for. I
Right.
really focusing in on what you're doing. What is it we do and who do we do it for and how do we solve a problem for them?
Mm-hmm.
What are our solutions for this target market? Allows you then to really focus on your marketing,
Mm-hmm.
where you're going, who you're talking to, and the message you're sharing with them, the solutions you're providing to their specific problems and challenges,
Okay.
then allows you to train your caregivers in that specific way. They can't take that to some other company and use it because the other company can't support the specificity that you've created in your business, the differentiated business. Anybody can shove somebody into a dementia training online and they can take that to any company. Customized dementia training or incontinence training or working with elderly seniors who are looking at some point down the road of transitioning from their private home into assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of opportunity there with your project management background to help people stay in their home longer,
Mm-hmm.
to help them transition when they're ready, get their home ready to sell, provide caregiving while they're doing that. There's lots of opportunity in everything you've said.
Yeah.
You just need to come up with the third area. And my subtle manipulation of influence would be look at who's paying the bill and what do wealthy clients want? What do they need and who's paying their bill?
Mm-hmm.
And they need dementia care and incontinence care.
True. Another area that we were looking at, the specialty kind of stuff, is because we're building an RCFE in our backyard right here. It's a big property. We're looking at really focusing on how do we build community around our clients? How do we create a vibrant community resource for our clients to be able to come somewhere and be part of, a senior culture. And yeah, so we're looking at somehow um, creating an active lifestyle for people in our care. Even if they are infirm, we can, pick them up and bring them to events that we want to host, um, classes that we want to throw,
Right?
etc.
So that's truly an extension of the experience that you are looking to brand the solution for independent living
Hmm.
by creating another level from that about independent living is the engagement
Hmm.
piece, you know,
Yeah,
really
social engagement.
what you right. And so we have a solution for independent living on every one of our programs. Our general program is this, and then you
Hmm.
have your specializations. Because we are always encouraging a solution of independent living. If you are a at-home client, we're going to bring you over to our mariachi party on the 15th. We will
Hmm.
bring you, so that's a lovely aspect. And that is something what large assisted living communities do well in their marketing is they are a social model with engagement all in a building. And in home care, everyone is siloed in their home. So the fact that you have a property, you're going to bring everybody to your home. So that is a plus. And you are and you are actively using that class, which is fabulous. Um, so
No, I like that. Solutions for independent living. That could be your third specialization, whether it's at home, at home as independent, meaning they're not in a they do not have caregivers and they're not ready for an RCFE, but you're introducing them to the lifestyle at home.
Mhm.
it's a marketing ploy for assisted living communities. They're all licensed RCFEs. They say we offer independent living, but you're still in a licensed facility, and we are doing art. So it's just a matter of, yeah, solution for independent living. I-
And
Um,
your concern about all the competition in home care, they're not your competition. Your competition are RCFE
Mm.
because it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
the large
Bottom
ones are
line,
cheaper.
it's cheaper. 6, 8, 12,000 a month is cheaper for round the clock care.
Yeah.
Observation is way cheaper than 30, 35,000 round the clock care for in-home care. So your solution for independent living is a brilliant model developed out at all levels and run like the big agencies, like the big RCFEs do,
Mhm.
but do it on a local community level is
Mhm.
brilliant because, like I said, the RCFEs are your biggest competitor because they're cheaper, but your advantage is people don't want to leave home
Right.
and they're willing to pay money to not have to leave home.
Right. Right. And the added advantage is if people do think that they're going to be able to get into our home when they're ready to make that transition.
Yes.
You know, if a
And
spouse
they're introduced.
dies and
Yep.
there's one person living there by themselves, they can reserve a room, and our clients have first dibs on the room. So,
Right. And what you're going to have a wonderful problem of you have no more rooms and now you have to create a wait list, and then
or buy
you'll
new
like
property.
yeah, build out more property or create a list of properties, other properties that you find that are comparable to yours, and you can refer them out,
Yeah.
right? Or you're doing placement
Yeah, we
services
can
in
help
other
with placement.
places,
Yeah, we can
right?
certainly. Yeah.
Because you may run into that, and you will run into that, right? And you want to help people along, and then why not? They already trust you, so they're going to trust you to make recommendations.
Yeah, that's true.
So Maya was asking about, about Spanish and bilingual. Um, so people who are looking to pay for your services, um, you want to market to them, and if you have bilingual, whatever that language is. We have clients who are focusing on multiple languages, like Asian languages, including different dialects from India and Chinese, and they're recruiting caregivers that speak those languages, and they are attracting clients that where the adult children are both working and no one is home to take care of they brought their immigrant mother or dad to the United States
Hmm.
to come here. So if you're recruiting that, and again, it's for those that can afford those services, right? So if you are attracting, wealthy bilingual Spanish speakers, yeah, absolutely, recruit in Spanish market, and you want to recruit for those bilingual caregivers as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I mean, I was a former administrator, and here in San Diego County, very close to the border, and I had a couple of very wealthy individuals that owned lots of property in Tijuana, and they are Mexican nationals, but they chose to live in an American assisted living community. And I remember on a monthly basis they had their team go and collect the rents and bring it to the to the people, to my residents to collect their monies, which was kind of interesting. It was a very old school way of doing things, um, uh, but you can service many languages, but as long as you know that you are attracting, you're going to people who can afford your services.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, and we have the benefit of being so close to Silicon Valley here
Yeah.
that I think there and Santa Cruz is a ton of seniors here. We and seniors who've been here since the 70s, right? Bunch of old hippies that own houses and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah. So we
You
definitely don't want to get discouraged by the competition that's popping up.
Competition just means equally competent. So they're not competitors if you're not competent with them. If you're not at the same level, you want to pick where you are,
Mm-hmm.
define it, and grow that specialized business so you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Walmart and the dollar store don't compete with
Mm.
Lululemon and you
Amazing.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you pick your spot and you stick to it.
Okay. Um, so we'll check out the 2-day intensives. How often are those offered?
So we have a course every month, but our subject rotate out. We rotate them out. They're on trimesters. So um, this compliance, we may have that one more time in December.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then we have our administrator course in September, and that will happen again in January. And then we have our sales course, and that'll happen again in February. And then we have the boot camp in November because we just had it in July. So it
Okay.
runs, there's four courses, so they run in trimesters.
So we're gonna divide and conquer here. Myra's she's got the CNA experience, so she's gonna be managing the caregiver schedules and the client intake and the assessments and all of that. And then my job is the back end stuff, the accounting, the compliance, the all the paperwork that goes along with it, and additional add-on services that I can provide. So it may be that I send Myra down for 2 days for the ones that make sense for her to go. But with I know for the boot camp you offer the binder. You offer all of the paperwork we need. You basically get us set up. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and very affordably, you can buy the policies, procedures, and forms on our website,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Separately a la carte.
separately a la carte.
Okay.
Um, you can buy the caregiver training separately, uh, but the value in the 5 days is for the price. You get everything you need. Plus, we start with your identifying your strategic plan
Mm-hmm.
and putting together number one, what are your values? What are your 3 areas of specialization?
Mm-hmm.
What's the names of them? Who needs those? Who do you target market for that? Um, and with those specializations, then you know, okay, we need training around this. So, and the training, you know, training to specialize can be a 1 or 2 hour training. We're not talking days of training for a caregiver
And we're
per specialization.
Yeah, and we're big fans of in-person training for our clients, but also for caregivers, because then you get to really know their personality and you also get to immediately answer their questions that they have. Sure, online is a great complement, but not to base all of your educational foundation on online because you are taking a risk of them or how much are they truly absorbing. And
Mm-hmm.
then if we're identifying specializations and trying to um, uh, distinguish ourselves a little bit more from the away from the competition, um, do we want to safely say in front of a client, like we are doing, in-person training versus, online, because that's a difference in quality of care. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
those competitors that are out there underselling you, they're not doing live training.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we know if the caregiver did that online or did they send their granddaughter to do it?
Right. Yeah.
No. And I've had that happen with nurses and with CNAs.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else did their training.
I want to when I build, we talk about the culture of love in our boot camp. That's what I love about our in person is because you have two more people on your team, and actually all the people in the class, we keep them very intimate. We're all rooting for each other, and it's dedicated to your business. So when else are you going to truly dedicate a set amount of time to really think about every aspect
Mm-hmm.
of what the experience is going to be like? And we spend a significant time in the culture of love and what that building trust and experience is like. So that carries us through the whole boot camp. So when discussions happen, we go, okay, so what does your culture of love say when it comes to this particular problem? Oh, yeah. And that's how you distinguish yourself a little bit differently. But you have to kinetically feel it too.
Right. Okay. Okay. Um,
I have to say, I love your solution for independent living. That is almost like your whole tagline, that is what my clients are going to experience is our solution for independent living, regardless if you are not ambulatory and can go out and about to non-ambulatory and you're bedridden. We are going to provide you a solution of independent living to the best of your capability.
mhm. Right. Yeah. That's kind of how we need to sell it.
Yep.
Um, I do feel like there's a way to market that as a differential. Um, and team approach. Myra and I, would go meet with people. We had an experience with a care agency who would send a person and she would never follow up on how is it going, and she would never show up. My thought is that we will be very involved with the care, and people's houses, and showing up and
Yep.
doing home visits and just making sure that everybody's connected. um yeah.
That has to be part of an integrated or an agency with integrity that's focused on understanding why they're doing what they're doing,
Hmm.
not just because, 10,000 people a day are turning 65, so I got into this business.
I know. Yeah.
It the motivation is truly what differentiates your business.
So the motivation truly really was not getting in the business because there's tremendous opportunity. The motivation to get into the business was there's my 87-year-old friend and his wife who passed away last year needed the care, needed the service. So we started and we looked at assisted living, and we didn't see anything that was remotely acceptable for their quality of life, their standard of living, because they came from this big beautiful house with a view. Going into a 12 by 12 room was not acceptable. So we said we can do better. Let's buy a property together, and we started building it. So unfortunately she passed away, and so but he's still very much alive and looking forward to our beautiful care home. But I'm not that far away from needing care myself, right? So I'm setting my own retirement up, my own security blanket up too. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of what do I want, right? What's the level of care that I want for myself? I'm going to provide that to other people and just, pay it forward, because that's Maya's going to come in after me and take care of me. So, yeah. So that I'm coming up from a different perspective of it's a lot of opportunity, a lot of money, a lot of, you know, it's that I want to create a level of care that's meets my needs too and Jan's needs.
Yeah,
So, Myra, did
yeah,
you have
that's
questions you wanted to ask regarding 80/20 rule?
Well, it was more about what you already asked,
Mm.
like what services we can be providing within the 80/20.
Yeah, we were just wondering, the 80/20 rule kind of freaked us out a little bit in terms of um the care when I go to a client's home to do something. I'm not going to fall under the caregiver designation, am I? If I'm going under our
You
license.
are,
If
you're
you're,
providing supervision or activities of daily living, you
Mhm.
are a caregiver and you need to be registered as a caregiver.
yeah,
I
if you're
am,
doing hands-on care, yeah.
Yep.
so I am registered. We did put me in the Guardian system as a
So you
registered
need
caregiver.
the TB test and the training.
I done that. Yeah. The
Okay.
training, did I? I don't think I did the training yet. No.
So you're
But
also a registered home care aide, you're a registered home care aide?
in Guardian, yeah.
Okay.
I,
So
But
I think
there's two things. There's the Guardian, which is the roster management tool,
background
where,
check and everything.
and it's the background check. And then there's a home care aide registry. So you have to be in the registry as a home care aide, pay your separate $35 and
Oh,
affiliated to the
okay.
agency.
Yes, I've paid
And
the
then
$35.
and then to be on the roster, you add yourself as a home care aide on your roster in Guardian.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the distinction.
But if I'm going there and making dinner and stuff, that's not really under the ADL. Is no.
Yes,
Yeah,
you need to
yes.
be a caregiver. You're
There-
providing direct care to a client. Yes.
So the 80/20 rule is where it really matters is if you are going to practice paying overtime after 9 hours.
Oh,
So because that's what wage order 15 talks about as for personal attendant. But if you practice paying overtime after 8 hours, then you're not going to be in that much trouble. So you practice paying overtime after 8 hours, time and a half. That's it.
that's that's all we
And
have to do
after
to
40
protect
hours in a work
ourselves?
week. Yeah, and 40 hours in a work week, yes.
Okay. I need to read wage 15.
15.
It's very confusing
Yes.
and people get it confused all the time. They read stuff in there. It'll say that you pay after 45 hours overtime, but the
Mm-hmm.
federal law says 40. So in California, we go by whichever law benefits the employee the most. So
Okay.
it's overtime after 8 hours and after 40 hours in a work week,
Hmm.
which means you should be defining your work day and your work week in your policies and procedures.
So if someone works 4 10s, do they get paid 2 hours overtime every day?
Yeah.
Depends on when that 10-hour shift
Well,
is.
yeah.
Because you have to make sure that you've identified what is a work day.
Mm-hmm.
Most do it from 12:01 a.m. to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're working 10 hours and it's from, you know, 10 p.m. till 6 a.m., that's 2 hours in one
Day.
day and then 6 hours on the second day.
Oh, it
They
splits the
don't get
day.
paid overtime
Okay.
Unless they go back at 10 o'clock that night.
the following night, that same
But
night.
if they work 2 hours, they're not going to be paid overtime because that's 8 hours in one workday.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm told that
yeah.
software will help us do it. We're evaluating some software. We have a meeting this afternoon at 10:30, I'm sorry, to look at different we've signed up to get demos on different softwares, and you guys had recommended one. I was looking on your website.
Swift ops.
Which one?
Swift ops.
Swift Ops. Okay. I haven't reached out to them yet. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm told that that will help you manage the overtime. You will be able to see more clearly and the ADLs, right? And ensuring that you're in that 80/20 rule.
Well, 80/20 only applies if someone's working in a private home as a personal attendant.
Right, right.
If they're working in a facility of any kind, they're not a personal attendant. They must be paid overtime after 8 hours and double time after 12 hours.
And also, you can have them working in the home and you pay them overtime after 8 hours. But
Hmm.
you'll be following the harder wage of wage order 5, which is what employees are in a facility their employers are following wage order 5. So
Okay.
that's why we recommend you just always pay overtime after 8 hours so that you're not in a court of law where the judge is going to say to the caregiver, are you doing more than 20? You are doing more than 20% housekeeping, aren't you? Yes, I am. Because the judge will be immediately in favor of that person. Because it's hard to document if they are, if they're not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, truly best practice, lowest risk management would be to pay all of your home care aides exactly how you're paying all your caregivers in the RCFE.
Okay, right. When I was saying about the software, I'm talking about the software for the home care organization.
We still see home care organizations that don't know how to use their software.
Mm-hmm.
And SwiftOps is the only company that we know you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning and talk to a human being
Oh, wow. Yeah.
that's here based in the Midwest. Customer service is the number one issue around software
Okay.
scheduling. And if you're looking at WellSky, I'll just tell you right off the bat, forget it. They have
Too many
zero
complaints.
customer service.
Too many
Okay.
complaints.
They'll sell you a product and you'll never hear from them again. And they won't help you get your system set up to pay correctly. Because what you set up in your payrolls, in your scheduling software, must feed correctly to your payroll software, or you pay incorrectly. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't start it right in the scheduling and billing EVV software, electronic visit verification software,
Mm-hmm.
that has to be where data in is perfect.
Okay.
So the key things you want are a system where um, that you have your caregiver profiles, where the setup, it's all about the setup,
Mm-hmm.
that you can clearly set up characteristic traits for the caregivers in their profile, their talents, their strengths, hashtags, all of that, so that the AI matching for when you enter in client profile is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you, or it'll match how far the caregiver is from the client, all their work skill sets, characteristics, if they're extrovert, introvert, um, and if they are available on the schedule. So that's what you want. And the same thing with the client profile, and I'll add in where you have ACH, or if you're paying long-term care insurance. Family portal is really the families are demanding more and more of that.
Yep.
You want that accessibility, lots of billing reporting and payroll reporting. So the payroll and billing and scheduling software, it doesn't do the payroll, it creates the payroll report. You will always still need a separate party to process your payroll.
Okay. Yeah, we're using Gusto to do payroll
Okay.
now. Um,
Okay.
and the one other software that we looked at is Mariposa, and I think they're new on the block. But we will look at SwiftOps because I've seen that as an organization.
Yeah.
That's the only one we recommend.
And they bill by their billing is based on your number of billable hours, not on the number of caregivers, the number of clients you enter in, because they know that, clients' hours can be
Right.
small, large, and
And
you
up and
need more
down.
caregivers. Yeah, you need more caregivers than you need, on your list. So they're all based on billable hours.
Okay. Great. Um, well, you definitely given us a lot to think about. Um, I'll look at we do need to get those packages sooner than later with the bundles that you're talking about, the forms and manuals and all that stuff. So we'll look at those online and then see what we can do in terms of maybe constructing a one-on-one tutorial, well, one-on-two or two-on-two.
You want to there.
And with what we really need the most at that particular time, and it might be one day we would work on onboarding employees, or first, attracting employees and getting, giving what the employee value proposition is, what can we offer. Someone told us that per diem employees are not offered any type of insurance, health insurance. Is that true?
That's correct. You do not have to offer any insurance to employees until you have 50 full-time equivalents.
Right. But is that a benefit? I mean, we did see an ad for a company that's offering a whole list of benefits, 401k, which we offer 401k. We're not matching at this point, but we do offer it because we're required to offer it by law. And but they're offering
Dental vision.
dental, vision.
Yeah, and a lot of those are very small premiums on the employer side, and a lot of them are meeting the very, 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 very basic minimal plans that are very affordable. It may look like a big list, but it's not that big of a list. Yeah, they're just like
We just want to
catastrophic.
be able to compete and get people in
Yeah.
there, and culture is a big part of that. What we're gonna
So culture's the number
Culture's
one
huge.
thing.
Culture and am I going to get on the schedule? How soon can I get on the schedule?
and training and yeah.
And when I'm on the schedule, am I supported? Do
Yes.
people
Yeah.
not just, do they throw me like a dart at a patient and walk away?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was my experience
Right.
with Elsie Jan's wife, right? She sent us somebody and never followed up.
Mhm.
Luckily, we got Myra from that, and she was like a gem. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, we did get good people, but
Mhm.
it was just, it would have been nice if she had checked in with us and, sent the forms. We had to make our own copies of the timesheets and stuff. So anyway, I think she was on her way to retirement. But
Not she should have been.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and the electronic visit verification system, like SwiftOps, will eliminate a lot of paperwork.
Good.
Mhm.
Great.
You
Well,
you do your assessments, you do your onboarding. All the only paperwork you end up really needing is personnel file that the compliance enforcement analyst looks at when they come and do an inspection.
okay.
Yeah. You can have everything in the software, including your service agreement. You can upload all that, and you have a lovely tablet that people can just sign on your tablet. It's really nice.
SwiftOps gives you the tablet too? Is that part of
No,
their?
No, no, no. You have to have the tablet.
Okay.
But I mean, but
It's
you
just
have
like
the
an iPad.
capability.
Just an
Yeah,
iPad.
yeah, I just bought an iPad last week for $150.
What?
refurbished. Yeah,
Refurbished, yeah,
yeah. Apple has a whole refurbishment department. A lot of people know that.
yeah. They're
Awesome.
not expensive.
Okay.
I mean, I remember when my first phone cost $49, but I'm old.
I have a Apple and my computers last at least 7, if not 8 years.
Yeah, mine too, typically. Back them up though.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
putting
Oh,
less and
everything on
less
the
in them.
cloud.
I'm getting
Everything
less
on the
and less.
cloud.
I don't know. I don't know. I was uploading all my pictures are on the cloud, but then I was looking for some very significant pictures for my construction project for a very specific time, and they're not there. They're gone. So I don't necessarily think it's 100% always going to be there, but yeah.
It was good to see the both of you, and
Thank you.
please, you know how to contact us when whatever
Yes.
you want to do next step. And good luck on your discussions with those vendors.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything, just reach
Take care.
out.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.